Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel and I'm the Scrum Master of the group Day 7, and I'm here to present our web application for the idea submission management for the university. A little introduction on the application. It was using the MERN stack. We use MySQL as database technology, Express.js for RESTful APIs management, React.js for front-end management, and Node.js as a backend server. A little assumption here before I start discussing the system. Every university staff can access the system upon access to the university portal. Interaction with the system requires further registration, so every university staff can access this web page, see existing ideas, but to interact with them, the user will be required to log in or register and then log in. Just to give you a little example here. If I want to report this idea, for example, it requires me to log in, and even if I want to add an idea, test submit, just as an example, it will require me to be logged in to perform the action. Before I start showing, registration, login, I just want to provide a little bit of introduction to the system. It performs pagination. So upon login, it will be possible to see 5 ideas per page, and then it's possible to go from one page to another using the pagination box here at the bottom of the page. It shows the idea, the title, text of the idea. This would be a limited text, so to see the entire text, not in this particular case, but if it exceeds 1,000 characters, you'll need to go into the idea page to see the entire idea. How many likes and dislikes the idea has, comments on the idea, potential attachments available on the idea by the user that has been submitted to. This is a test user with a silly name, and the date of the submission. Then it is possible to enter the idea details. I'm going to enter this one, and here it will be possible to see a bit more information. All the comments are in one page. There is here as I've seen before, when trying to attempt adding a comment, it's possible to see that there is a form to add comments, and there are some information like the category, this is teaching material, the number of views, and it's also possible to report the idea from here, but this requires user login. In addition, we decided to add this message box here at the top to provide some deadlines information. We think this is fundamental for the system, and then on login we want to inform the users on the landing page that these are the current deadlines for new idea submission or for adding comments to existing ideas. Now, to register to the system, the user needs to click the login button on the navbar. Then here is possible to log in, but in this case we are going to sign up to the system. I'm going to use my email address to log in, join the system. Something that I want to show here, we implemented quite extensive validation for this form. Now this is the basic, all the areas must be filled in. But there are also other things like the email format, as the placeholder suggests, needs to be grad.ac.uk. I'm just gonna show if I added, for instance, Gmail address, and I try to register what this basically shows. I'm gonna select also some, I'm the department library and I'm a librarian. It's telling me that the email format is not valid, so I'm gonna add grad.ac.uk. I'm also gonna simply show the password they match, and this also password complexity is required and is checked through a regular expression. Now I'm gonna fill in just to go ahead. I'm gonna click the submit button. The system informs me that I have successfully registered. The information disappears automatically after a few seconds. Let's log into the system now. Again, validation here is also added. Let's try to log in. I'm gonna use the wrong password, valid password. It provides feedback. I'm gonna just log in. It welcomes me. It tells me this is my first login to the system, and this also is one of the fundamental requirements that the client changed in the Scrum mockup. I'm just gonna show that if I try to log in again, it's gonna give me a timestamp of my last login. Perfect. Let's now that we have logged into the system, we will be able to interact a bit with it. So when I join this page, now I'll be able to like an idea. I'll be able to add a comment. I think we need more tables in existing dining areas. It's just an example. It can be anonymous. Then I like it. It can also be my own idea, with my own name. The views increased every time you access an idea. It increases by once. It's possible also, to see the idea, as I mentioned before, through the modal. But now that I'm a registered user, I can also report an idea. So let's say I want to report this idea, more dining areas. I don't think it is fair. And it's going to inform me that I have reported the idea, and then later on I will show how it looks like from the QA manager portal point of view. So when QA manager logs in, there are going to be a few more panels available to him or her. Now I've just created the user. I don't have any idea available here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to submit a new idea just to show the process of submitting a new idea. One little assumption that the group made is that once an idea is submitted, you cannot change it anymore. Meaning that maybe you submit something, everyone likes it, and then you completely overturn it, and it's completely something different than from the beginning. And this will require a proper admin management, maybe an editor that allows changes, but we did not go that far. So let's create an idea. This idea is we need to be more eco-friendly, if I can spell it. The category, let's say, is resources. I'm going just to copy lorem ipsum text. If I submit now, it's just going for me. I need to accept the terms and condition. I'm also going to add a couple of files here. These one test files and a PDF I created before. I'm going to submit the idea. After the submission is successful, I'm automatically redirected to the submission display page. And this is basically it. As I shown before, the like and dislike is only enabled once logged in, once clicked on the idea. This is because we want to make sure that the user has read the entire text of the idea and checked all the comments for maybe questions and answers already provided for this particular idea. What I'm going to do next now, I'm going to log in as an admin and I'm going to show what the system allows as extra feature for the administrator. The account is sysadmin, and there we go. So this is the admin portal. And it has, which is basically another landing page, identical like all the other users, but it has the admin console on the nav bar. And the first thing that we can see here that we have the portal data management, and here the admin has some extra feature. First one, it can create, edit existing category. Let's create a category. The category can be management, description management of the university. I'm gonna make it selectable, and this is now created. It's then also possible to edit existing ideas, categories, sorry, and make them selectable or not selectable. For instance, so categories are not cannot be deleted unless they are not being used. So if there is an idea with a selected category, the category cannot be deleted. And some other things that I'm going to show here is that the same goes for department. It's possible to edit existing department, to create department, and same create, delete role. I'm just gonna delete this YOLO role. It disappears automatically, so the action is confirmed. It's also possible here to change the deadline. So as it can be seen here for the new idea submission, the deadline is the 18th of May. Let's go back here. Let's make it the 19th, just an example. We go back here, and now is the 19th of May. Some extra things. I'm going to go back to user here in a moment. I just also want to show that it's possible to download a CSV file with the entire information of the system. So all the ideas and some analytics details of the idea. And it's also possible to download all the attachments of the system. And they are separated by idea and then the file name. So idea 126 is the ID 126, and so on. Now, going back to the users, each user, as asked Gabriel, can also be managed by the admin. And there are some actions that can be performed, I'm just gonna give you here an example. We can change the name, we can change the email address, the department, the role. We can disable the account, meaning that cannot perform new actions and submission to the system, submitting new ideas, submitting new comments, or we can hide the activity of the particular user. It can be done either by here, and I'm gonna show now the next portal, which is the content issue. And basically here it can be see the reported ideas and the reported comments. For the reported ideas, it can be, like here there are two reports for the idea. So Gabriel complained because he doesn't think it's fair, and sysadmin saying that we have dining areas already. We have information about the author, but what we can do here is we can hide the author activity directly from this portal. We can click this button, and now the idea will not appear here anymore as it did before. Now we can say, okay, maybe that was too harsh. Let's go back to it. We can show the activity, and the more dining areas is back. And this go back, disable new account. It's basically I'm gonna show it quickly now, but it prevents a user from submitting new ideas. I'm going to use a different browser. I'm going to log in with the account and show basically what happens. So now this is also one of the other aspects of the page. Upon login, when you load the page, and this is because we use Next.js to do server-side rendering, it's gonna load all the information and then gonna render the page. So I'm going to log in with the account, which is this test account. There we go. And if I want now to add a comment here, test, add comment, I'm not allowed, and I will get the same type of rejection if I attempt to submit a new idea. And comments here is basically the same. We can see that this idea has a reported comment. The button here allows to report comments, which opens a modal that's very similar to the one that reports idea. and it's basically the same object on React.js, just recycled for two different functions. And basically we can delete comments if the admin decides so. Yeah, that's basically it with the content issue management. It also provides some analytics, so we can see most comments written by the user, most enthusiastic writers, so the number of ideas. It can also be see users with highest submissions rate. We can see that Madalin has 7 signed and anonymous comments, a percentage, signed and anonymous ideas, commented ideas, ideas per department, contributors per department, user browser usage. We can see that 79% of access to the systems have been done using Chrome, and also operating system. And we can see that most of people using Windows 10, some Mac OS, iOS, Android OS, just a few attempts of access. One other thing that I want to mention is that it includes also email report, meaning that it's possible to receive an email upon a comment, or if a new idea for the department has been added. So I'm just going to try to comment here for Marco, which has my private email address. Let me just double check that. Yeah, I think it should be Marco. Let's try to add a comment. Test, add a comment, and now I should receive an email. There we go, perfect. I received the email. The member said test. It provides also a link to access the idea, and it comes with an email. Similar email comes to the department coordinator upon a new idea is being submitted to the portal for a specific department. If the coordinator is not available, the email will not be sent. So another thing that I want to show very quickly is that users can also delete their own ideas. When we go back here, we can see my ideas, and I have a delete button. Okay, this ends the presentation, which has been already slightly longer than anticipated. Thank you very much.